And we are live inside Digital Agency Empire Builders. This is my Facebook group. Hi, guys. I am Kelly, founder and CEO of cyberpreneur Inferno. I am here today interviewing James Fu Torres, who happens to be one of my students inside of cyberpreneur Inferno. And he's been, I don't know, close to a year now, but doing fantastically. And because of that, we are going to be talking about the top 3 PR strategies that you can implement in your business today. So James is the CEO and founder of Imperium Authority, which is a PR firm that helps a very specific group of people. I'm going to let James kind of talk about what he does, how he does it, and who he does it for. And then we will jump right into those top 3 strategies. One of the things I love about James is he's, down, like, these are the things that can help. None of this high level, like, random stuff that leaves you like wanting more and not really understanding. So James, why don't you just kind of give a little intro about yourself, what it is that you do, who it is that you serve, and then we'll get into the meat of it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kelly. And it's been amazing journey since me wanting to quit to get in, and now to getting here and have my first 20K deal recently. It's been a journey, and thank you for that, and thanks for having me. So like you said, my name is James Fu Torres, and I'm the founder and CEO of Imperium Authority, which is a public relations firm. And at Imperium Authority, we specialize on helping business improvement experts increase their brand authority so they can sell courses and other programs with ease. And with that being said, our 2 main avenues that we use are press releases to get something quick out, as many places as possible, and then earned media, which is where we create a client profile and we pitch into top publications, podcasts, or TV.
Excellent. I love it. So James, let's kind of dig right into it about the top 3 strategies that people can do. There's a lot of things going on, and I think, the hard part for a lot of people really is where do I start? What is it that is actually going to pull a lever? And maybe let's go and maybe take a step back and let's talk a little bit about the difference of, or how marketing relates to PR and how that actually fits into the mold. I think there's some confusion over, which avenue this is going down for people.
Yes. So the difference between marketing and PR is marketing is you talking about yourself. Mm-hmm. PR is somebody else talking about how great you are. And that's the main difference, because you can say that you're good and you're great and whatever, and people would just take your word for it. Mm-hmm. So when they see you in trusted publications that they are talking great about you, then that's a great trust indicator. And that's why business becomes a lot easier when you do that.
Excellent. I love that. So marketing is us talking about ourselves, or business owners talking about themselves, and PR is another trusted entity talking about you in the way that you want that kind of conveyed. So I like that. All right. So to kind of clear that up for everybody, that's where we're starting here. So when we talk about, the top 3 things, so you named, so which niche again are you working with specifically?
Business improvement experts, meaning coaches, consultants, agency mm-hmm. owners that sell high ticket, that mm-hmm. need that next level of authority to be able to sell packages of 5K, 10K plus.
Mm-hmm. Right. So these are trust indicators, right? So third-party trust indicators. And I think for people maybe that could listen to this outside of those, would these top 3 strategies work for any business, or is this specifically for this group of industries?
So the top 3 strategies that I'm going to cover, it definitely can work for any industry and anybody, because I'm going to start covering since the big, if you can put aside a couple $100, not even $1,000, mm-hmm. Then it could be great for you. So it's definitely something that can fit a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Obviously I need to talk to a specific person. I can be just world, right. Look, I'm trying to help.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, so when I talk to a lot of people and, a lot of different niches and everything, most of the toolbox is the same. It's just the order in which that you put certain tools, or in James's case, essentially, because he was talking to me a lot about this, it is the series of events that gets that specific niche to that outcome really quickly. And that's what he's good at, right? He knows, this is the outcome. And actually, I guess you could tell for people. So when most people come to you, what is it that they're looking for?
So they have leads usually, and they're just trying to convert, trying mm-hmm. to have, like I said, those trust indicators. People want to see a testimonial, a friend of yours can do it and stuff. But when people see a logo that they know and trust, mm-hmm. that's where really like the advantage come in, and that's what people are looking. People are like kind of frustrated. It's like, Lamb, like I want to get my brand message out. I don't know how to reach people without being salesy, and that's like when, as humans, like we're storytellers. So like this is a great way to communicate your message on a natural way, like just on a story, and put yourself out there, because people, they do business with people, they don't do business with a strategy or whatever. So
Exactly. Right. It's the whole people to people thing. And I think, when we talk about those trusted logos, I think it's important for people who may not know you. When we're talking about trusted logos, James is talking about the likes of Entrepreneur, Inc., Action and Ambition podcast. Like we're talking like really big things that get the authority of people where, and it's nice to position yourself and say, this is the kind of the group that you get. So PR, and I think for people kind of understanding wise, it is a lever to pull for people who have leads to convert more, right? It's that, okay, this is starting to work. Our marketing department is working here. How is it that we can convert more of these in an easier way into sales? And I think for me, that in my brain, correct me if I'm wrong, that's kind of where PR comes in, to be able to say, yep, this is the trusted resource. This is, got that stamp of approval, so to say. Is that kind of, am I right there for people?
yeah, that's correct. So like like you've probably seen, everybody's like, oh, I'm like BBB, like accredited, and like all that
Right.
stuff. That's just ways to like, again, like just have those trust indicators that people see usually and associate with somebody that's trustworthy. So definitely that you're right there.
Okay, cool. So I think we've kind of explained the whole lay of the land here for everybody. Who it's for generally, how it works, when the position of it works, what the best moment of that is. So let's go ahead and dig into the 3 strategies. Go ahead and tell us the 3, and then we'll start at the first.
Yeah, so like the top three PR strategies are press release. That's the first one that can be done pretty quick. Podcasts. So going on a podcast tour, pitching yourself to podcasts, and pitching yourself to high tier publications like Forbes, Entrepreneur, and all that. And I'll get into details into one of them. So like just to starting with the press release, there's so many different news wires that you could use. So it's just like finding the one that will give you like what you want. And what I would recommend is find one that has Yahoo. That's just the key. Like if you find one that will get you into Yahoo, it looks great. It's like it's a link that won't expire, and everybody knows and trusts Yahoo. Like a lot of people have told me like, oh, they didn't realize that I even had like Yahoo News that I used. Like I watched them and I didn't even know they were from Yahoo. They were just from the app on my phone. And it's like, that's why like even your subconscious without knowing it, it just already trusts Yahoo.
That's the crazy part. Like we just see something like that and you're like, oh, this is good. We're fine here. We trust this thing. Definitely.
And the great thing about that is like a press release is a message that comes from your company. And like a good strategy to do a press release is also write it as if it was an article, so it can get picked up. Actually, because it has happened before, like you put a press release on Yahoo and it can get picked up from Yahoo and actually become a staff article and get in like official article. So that's why I recommend always to write it as an article. So it's a press release, but it's from the point of view of somebody else talking about you. So that's why I like that. Even though a press release can be considered marketing more than PR because it's an advertisement, right? But really, what happens with that is that if you write it on a way that's like an article, and the logo, it just has that like feeling of PR and can actually get picked up. So yeah, that's
right. Okay. I think that, so for me, it's way back in the day when we started doing like SEO and stuff like that. And I think that is maybe how people maybe understand press releases, is it is a little bit of a strategy on SEO. And so I think we should talk a little bit on how PR and SEO go together a little bit. And we can give that everybody kind of a rundown there.
Yeah, so PR and SEO work together because if you combine those two, like you can dominate Google very, very well. So one like how I could call it like an SEO hack is when you get into mid-tier publication on a press release, and then you put your business name or your name in the title, that in a high domain authority site like Yahoo, even if on a press release, it will rank in the first page of Google. So that could be very powerful because that's just automatic instead of building, with backlinks and building like with long long tail keywords and all that. So that's why like it's a great way to like combine like, okay, let me get my name to flood that first page, and then have other articles that are more like targeting the long tail keywords. So that way you have both. You have, okay,
Mhm.
for your name, this appears here. For your long tail keywords, then this one is the one that's gonna appear. So you can combine that strategically.
Okay, I like that. All right, so PRs and how that can actually work for you in a couple of different ways. One, you've got the authority. Two, you've got the SEO hack bit there. Okay, so what is PR strategy number 2?
And that goes right along with this topic too of the SEO hack, because like the number 2 is like the podcast tour. So that podcast tour, it also like it's great for SEO. Majority of podcasts, they rank very well. So they're great for getting like your brand message out there, your keywords and everything, depending on the topic that you're talking. And to get into like the strategy per se is when like there's so many different ways you can go. There's websites that you can sign up and they will assist you to pitch yourself. You can
Okay.
actually just not use anything and just network and pitch yourself to podcasters. And then you can also like use a PR agency like mine, and like that way you don't have to worry about like, okay, you give us your onboarding form, a simple questionnaire, so I'll have your basic information, create an client profile, and then I already have your industry, I already know you, so I pitch you to relevant podcasts. So that would be the strategy number 2.
Okay, I like that. So it also has the SEO implications, right? And I can say from personal experience, the leads that come from podcasts are like gold dust, right? Like, guys, when somebody has taken 30, 45 minutes, an hour to listen to you in just this singular moment, when does that happen ever in our like? We're on TikToks where it's super short. You've got Reels, which is super short. You've got videos on YouTube that people might watch half of it, right? But the dedication of podcast users or listeners is massive. So when they listen to you for that long, these leads are amazing. They come to you and they are super high ticket. So I love that strategy. I've personally been doing that and it is amazing. I don't think it gets much better than that. I do find it's a little bit of a longer, a longer play, right? Because you have to pitch yourself. You have on podcasts that are big, they're booked out several months, things like that. So like the faster you get in, the more this is going to be a thing for you. But super, super solid. And I know James can get on some pretty amazing ones. We were talking about what Action and Ambition, Inc. Had they dropped their new podcast
Yeah,
yet?
they did this week on Tuesday.
See?
So
Yeah.
they already have 2 episodes out. Last time I checked, I think 2 days ago. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
this is Brainstorm. It's called Business Brainstorm, and man, I can't wait to get a lot of people in it.
No, it's going to be good. And it's by Inc. Magazine, and then Action Ambition is Entrepreneur, right? Yeah. So we're talking about some big ones for our industry, right, guys? And I also know, James got connections to get into Forbes magazine. Like, we're talking about big things here, right? So we've talked about PR strategy. We've talked about podcasting and how that can be beneficial. What's the third thing?
So the third thing is to pitch you to either mid-tier publications or preferably to high-tier publications like Forbes, Entrepreneur, and like Inc. So the way like to do that, you can do it like the same, like just networking. A great way that I saw recently is if you find podcasters that have a column. An easier way may be like everybody's trying to get on Forbes, right? But if you tell them, look, can I be in your podcast to add value to your audience? And then they can transcribe that into an article. They already have the interview. They interview you already. So like that's a great way that I would suggest. Look, if you find a podcaster and you can add value to their audience, do it that way, and then they'll return the favor, right? Like if they like you, they feature you in Forbes. So
right, and there's a lot of things to make people like you, right? Like the thing about podcasters that I find is most people are just trying to get on their shows to like for their benefit, right? The interviewee benefit. Ask them, what is it that is there anything that you can help them with, right? Like there's all of these ways that you can kind of get in from a relationship, emotional intelligence point of view, so that then you can say, hey, like these are the ways that these things can actually work. And it's amazing. We were talking about this earlier, right? People don't do business with businesses, they do it with people, right? So it's that whole people to people thing throughout this entire strategy that James is talking about. So James, I think what I love about the thing that you do, you do it really, really well, right? And the next part is, so these strategies, guys, like you can go and figure out pretty relatively easily how to do it. James's company solves the how, so that it is all completely handled and hands off, because this is going to work for businesses that are having leads, right? You're busy, you're starting to get into that leverage phase and that scale phase, right? So that then you can say, yep, I'm going to hand this thing off to James and his team so that they can handle that and get more leads, more highly qualified leads. Also, the leads that you already have coming in, all of these trust indicators, you can send them to landing pages, you can do it in email drips, you can do it like in all sorts of stuff that says, yeah, I'm the person who I've told you that I am, right? So James, what do you think is the biggest maybe misnomer about PR?
People think that like TV is dead, like publications are, oh, like if anybody can get in, like I've seen people getting in, so if everybody can get in, then it doesn't work. And it's like, look, the fact that you've seen people getting is because like it works and they're like reaching to
Right.
this because it works. It's not
Mhm.
because oh everybody can get in. Everybody cannot get in. If you've seen a couple people that just, we're just over 7 billion people. If you've seen a
Mhm.
couple hundred, like wow, like it's a lot of people trying to get in, right? Like it's not, you just happen to see them. So there's a misconception of people like not believing it at all, like
Mhm.
in people wanting on unrealistic expectations. Like
Mhm.
they think that, oh, I'm gonna just do one article and like it should, like I should become
Maybe
famous.
like Rain Man, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna
Yeah.
become famous in one article. And I mean, if it happens, you got lucky, but just you don't count on
Mhm.
that, right? You're right. Like you hope for the best, but you
Mhm.
prepare, and you do things right.
Right.
And
It's the
we
same thing with marketing. We do a lot of ads. It's not we're going to stop doing this thing just because we put one ad out, right? We're going to continually to get better. What I always train about, and I know James, you've heard this a lot. We have different traffic trains. We have a warm traffic train and a cold traffic train in our business, and there's different trains that go off of those main lines. So this is a cold traffic train strategy, right? How is it that I can get out of my network into other people's networks and bring those people back to me? Right. And
Mhm,
that's what James is here doing. Right. So I
mhm,
invited him to be here because I know he's got a super solid product. He's a good guy. He's trying to be out there and help people. Right. Like we're just getting eyeballs. So, James, I know you've heard this a lot too. Eyeballs and conversations. That's where sales are made. Right. And from business to people. So, he's out in the world doing the thing that he teaches other people how to do. Right. So he's sticking his money where his mouth is, basically, which we all can appreciate in somebody. Right. So, um, these top three strategies, we'll run down them again, right? We have PR strategy, we have podcast strategy, and we have, what's the third one again?
the third one is to get into high level
High
like
level
reports,
publications.
and yeah.
Yep. So what we are going to have for you guys, and James sent me the link. I'm going to put in the description in one of the comments. He has a link for you guys to get this in a document so that you can reread it and get into his ecosystem so that you can be more aware of these things. But like I said, he's fantastic at what he does. You're not gonna go wrong having a conversation with him. So reach out. Also, I think he's got a whole bunch of resources on his profile and things like that. So we'll make sure everybody here has access to that. James, what's the last thing you want to leave everybody with today?
So last thing I want to say is, before like considering PR, I would say, because I had this happen before, and that's what I'm saying is like work on having that brand message very clear. Because when you have your brand message clear, then there's nothing that can just stop me. Like I'll push you to the moon. Like I just
Mhm.
need you to be clear on what's that one problem that you solve, what's your target, and
Mhm.
you're like clear or who you are and who you serve and who you
Right.
want to be. So like that way I can get you where you want. But if you
Mhm.
don't have direction, you don't even know where you're going, like it's a little hard for me to help you
Right.
out. So
And
that's
that
what I
is
want.
a really excellent thing, James. I know you put so much time and effort into yours. And when we are in the program, like that was a big thing for you. And I love that, because if everybody remembers when you listen to this thing, I said, James, tell me what it is and who you serve. You can say it again.
Like saying it right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah. So my name is James Flutores, and with Imperial Authority, I sell business improvement experts to, and I specialize on helping them increase their brand authority so they can sell courses and other programs with ease. And
See?
that's the thing.
So again, putting his money where his mouth is, right? Like, so when you say that in any situation, it's very succinct. What, there's probably about a couple sentences, right? Who it is that you can help. I have an agency as a marketing company. What we find is when people don't have that, you can't even market them, right? They come to you and they want help to get more leads or but if you can't tell them who it is that you serve and how it is that you serve them, No one can help you. So guys, start there. That is, door number one. And once you get that, you start getting some leads in, give James a call, reach out to him. You're going to want to do that. So I want to thank James so much for his time here today. Again, we're going to put the link to the top 3 strategies from him and link to his profile so that you can go check him out. Any other questions, go ahead and put in the comments. Anybody that's here with us live, go ahead and hashtag live. If you're hashtag replay and you have any questions, I'll get those questions over to him so that we can get anything answered, or feel free to click on his link and go talk to him directly. So James, thank you so much for being here, sharing that awesome information. I appreciate you. You are fantastic. You've come a long way in a year, and can't wait to see where the next year takes you.
I appreciate it. Really, like, you have helped me a lot. So thank you for everything. And I look forward to even better things. So
it's going to be good. It's going to be good. 2022 is going to be excellent.
Yeah, so definitely. I can see it already. I can feel it already.
You can taste it. It's good. Well, all right, guys, you have a good rest of the day, and we'll be back next week.